Could our solar system be hiding alien artifacts? For centuries, we have looked up at the night sky with awe, believing the solar system to be a vast but familiar neighborhood, a stage where the drama of planets, moons, and comets unfolds under the steady light of the sun. We have charted its orbits, measured its distances, and mapped its surfaces with robotic probes. We think we know it well. Yet, what if this familiarity is an illusion? What if, hidden in plain sight, there are relics of something not born of natural processes, but of intelligence? Alien artifacts silently resting within our own backyard, waiting for us to recognize them. The question is unsettling because it overturns one of our deepest assumptions, that if extraterrestrial life exists, its traces will be found light years away, among distant stars. But what if the evidence is closer than we ever dared to imagine? Our solar system, with its countless hiding places, cratered moons, dark asteroids, the icy reaches of the Kuiper Belt, could conceal objects that did not originate here. Some may be inert, drifting relics of civilizations long vanished. Others might still be active, disguised as natural bodies quietly observing us. The chilling thought is that we might not be the first to explore this system. Perhaps we are latecomers, fumbling through the archives of a history far older and far stranger than our textbooks allow. History offers a pattern worth remembering. Every great discovery has begun with something that looked ordinary until it was studied more closely. At first, the Earth itself was thought to be the center of all existence, unique and immovable. Then the telescope revealed a universe of stars and galaxies. Today, as instruments like the James Webb Space Telescope expand our vision, we once again confront the possibility that our understanding is incomplete. The greatest discovery may not be out there, in the farthest corners of the cosmos, but here, in the celestial bodies we thought we had already explained. Consider this. Our probes have only skimmed the surfaces of a handful of worlds. Vast portions of the solar system remain unexplored, with countless asteroids and comets still unvisited. Even the Moon, Earth's closest companion, has regions untouched by human eyes. Mars is dotted with anomalies, geological formations that spark debates about whether they are sculpted by nature or something more. The outer planets harbor moons with subsurface oceans, places where the conditions for life might exist, but also where foreign objects could remain preserved for eons. The truth is, we have barely begun to scratch the surface, and our ignorance may be the very cloak under which secrets hide. Scientists have long debated the possibility of lurkers, alien probes hidden in stable orbits or attached to asteroids, quietly watching civilizations rise and fall. While speculative, the idea is not impossible. After all, our own technology is beginning to achieve something similar. We send spacecraft to other worlds, place satellites in orbit, and dream of seeding distant planets with robotic explorers. If we, a young species on a small planet, can imagine such things, what might a civilization with 1 million years of advancement have already done? The idea challenges us not only scientifically but philosophically. If alien artifacts exist in the solar system, they may not be intended for us at all. They could be remnants of an ancient survey, instruments left behind in an age when Earth was nothing more than a blue-green speck, unnoticed by its temporary inhabitants. Or they might be messages, time capsules meant to be found only when we reached a certain level of awareness. In either case, the implications are profound. We may not be the authors of the first chapter of this solar system's story. We may be merely its latest readers. This perspective carries a deeper urgency, because if such artifacts exist, they may already be within reach. The difference between ignoring them and recognizing them may rest on our willingness to question the obvious. A rock may be just a rock, or it may be something else. A faint signal may be interference, or it may be a whisper from across the stars. Every assumption we cling to about what is natural, what is random, what is ordinary, could be the very barrier preventing us from seeing the extraordinary. So, as we journey through the 10 space phenomena that science still struggles to explain, we must keep an open mind. Some mysteries may have natural explanations waiting to be uncovered. Others, however, may point towards something greater, something beyond our species, beyond our time, beyond our imagination. Perhaps, just perhaps, Our solar system itself holds the first pieces of evidence that we are not alone. Before we continue, pause for a moment and ask yourself this. If even one of these mysteries proves true, would you want to be among the few who knew first? If the answer is yes, then subscribe now, not just to follow a channel, but to join a circle of seekers who refuse to look away from the unknown. Stay, because the next revelation may be the one that changes how you see the universe forever. From the moment humanity first looked up at the night sky, we assumed it to be a silent vault, empty except for stars, planets, and the slow drifting of comets. But what if that assumption has blinded us to something extraordinary? Our solar system, vast and largely unexplored, contains countless places where secrets could be hidden. On airless moons, in the shadows of asteroids, beneath the frozen surfaces of distant worlds. And among these hiding places, some scientists and visionaries alike have posed an audacious question. Could alien artifacts, remnants of advanced civilizations, be concealed in plain sight, orbiting near us, or resting silently on forgotten terrain? To consider this possibility is to enter a realm where science meets speculation, where the unexplained gaps in our exploration invite us to imagine that we are not the first to travel these celestial paths. The moon is often the first suspect. For decades, astronomers have cataloged strange transient lights, unexplained flashes, and anomalous reflections on its surface. Some dismiss them as natural phenomena, but others suggest they could point to something more. Our lunar companion is geologically inactive, a world without weather or tectonic upheaval. If any object of artificial origin were placed there millions of years ago, it might still remain untouched, waiting for rediscovery. When Apollo astronauts brought back lunar rocks, some hinted at unusual isotopic ratios, sparking whispers that the moon might harbor a deeper mystery than we dared acknowledge. Could it be possible that the very body we see every night is a time capsule of alien contact? But the moon is only the beginning. Mars has long inspired speculation, not merely because of its proximity, but because of its evocative landscapes. The so-called face on Mars, captured by Viking in 1976, stirred the imagination of millions, though later high-resolution images revealed it as a mesa shaped by shadows. Yet beneath its deserts lie real enigmas, subsurface water reserves, methane plumes that appear and vanish, and geometric features that hint at possible structures hidden under dust. While mainstream science is cautious, the allure of Mars as a candidate for ancient artifacts endures. If a civilization once seeded the solar system with markers, would it not place some on the world most similar to Earth? Beyond the terrestrial planets, the possibilities expand dramatically. The asteroid belt, for instance, is littered with millions of rocky fragments, many of which have never been observed up close. Among them could exist objects that are not entirely natural, relics camouflaged by their irregular forms. Some scientists speculate about the idea of lurkers, technological probes designed to remain dormant until triggered, perhaps hidden on asteroids near Earth's orbit. If such artifacts exist, their silence could be deliberate, waiting for us to achieve the awareness necessary to recognize them. And if even one were found, it would redefine everything we know about life in the universe. The outer solar system magnifies the intrigue. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn, Europa, Ganymede, Enceladus, and Titan are worlds of mystery. Beneath their icy shells lie oceans deeper than anything on Earth, warmed by internal heat. While we dream of biological life in these alien seas, we often overlook another possibility. What if some of these worlds already shelter artifacts from civilizations far older than ours? A probe encased in ice could remain preserved for eons, invisible to our telescopes, waiting for us to pierce the frozen surface. Even the rings of Saturn, a breathtaking display of celestial beauty, could conceal anomalies among the billions of icy particles. What if some of those fragments are not fragments at all, but designed, structured, and placed? There is also the enigmatic Oumuamua, the first known interstellar object to pass through our solar system in 2017. Its shape, motion, and acceleration defied easy explanation, leading some astrophysicists to suggest it could have been artificial, perhaps a fragment of alien technology drifting across the galaxy. Mainstream science leaned toward natural explanations. but the fact remains. Oumuamua behaved unlike any comet or asteroid we have ever recorded. If such an object could enter our solar system once, how many others have passed unnoticed? And could some still be here, orbiting our sun in paths yet uncharted? The silence of the stars has always been used as evidence against extraterrestrial life. Yet silence can also be the mark of design, an intentional choice to observe without revealing, to test without interfering. If alien civilizations wanted to leave behind markers of their presence, what better place than our own cosmic backyard? A place we would eventually explore, a place that would one day force us to confront the possibility that we were never alone. The unsettling truth is that we have only scratched the surface of exploration. More than 99% of our solar system remains unseen, up close, untouched, unexamined. What secrets might lie in that vast unknown? The moon has always been more than a celestial companion. It is the closest world to Earth, a silent witness to the rise and fall of our civilizations, a mirror in the night sky reflecting our deepest myths and scientific ambitions. And yet, despite centuries of observation, it continues to harbor mysteries that remain unsolved. If there were ever a place for alien artifacts to hide, few candidates seem more likely than the moon. Its lack of atmosphere, absence of tectonic activity, and geological stillness create the perfect conditions for preserving any object placed there, perhaps millions of years ago. Unlike Earth, where erosion, weather, and biology erase history, the lunar surface could serve as a vault of time, untouched and waiting. For centuries, astronomers reported strange flashes of light on the lunar surface. Known as transient lunar phenomena, these events have puzzled scientists. Sudden glows, unexplained streaks, or temporary changes in brightness. Some attribute them to meteor impacts or outgassing from beneath the surface, but the truth is that no single explanation fits all recorded cases. To those who dare to imagine, these flickers could suggest something artificial, signals, reflections, or energy bursts from objects hidden in craters. The moon, so familiar to us, could also be a stage for enigmas we have yet to decode. The Apollo missions brought back more than just rock samples. They revealed seismic activity that made the moon ring like a bell after impacts, a phenomenon that still raises eyebrows. While mainstream science attributes this to the moon's unique internal structure, some have speculated whether the moon might be more than a natural satellite. Legends from ancient cultures fuel this curiosity. Stories of a time before the moon, myths suggesting that it appeared suddenly in the sky, transforming the rhythms of Earth. Could these myths preserve faint echoes of an artificial origin, or perhaps an intervention from an intelligence beyond our understanding? If an advanced civilization wanted to place a long-lasting marker near Earth, the moon would be the ideal location. It is stable, visible, and geologically dormant. Imagine a probe buried beneath its regolith, indistinguishable from the surrounding rock unless examined closely. It could monitor Earth's progress, transmitting data silently, waiting for the moment when humans develop the tools to find it. The absence of weather ensures it would not degrade as it would on Earth. Millions of years of preservation are entirely plausible. And if such a device exists, it could be resting right now in a crater we have photographed but never studied in detail. Our exploration of the moon has been surprisingly limited. The Apollo missions landed on only 6 small regions, a fraction of its vast surface. Modern satellites have mapped it extensively, but resolution has its limits. Countless anomalies, from unusual geometric formations to strange boulder placements, continue to spark debate. Some researchers argue these features are nothing more than geological coincidences. Others see the possibility of intentional design. Could an ancient civilization have carved symbols or structures into the surface, leaving behind a silent message meant to be discovered only when we were ready to interpret it? The idea of the moon as an artificial body has inspired more radical speculation. Some theories suggest it could be hollow, an enormous construct rather than a natural satellite. While most scientists dismiss such notions, the persistence of these ideas speaks to the strangeness of our closest neighbor. Its size, composition, and distance from Earth are unusually precise, creating perfect solar eclipses that are both rare and scientifically invaluable. Coincidence or design? the question lingers, inviting us to look deeper. Even today, with advanced telescopes and orbiters, mysteries remain. Unexplained reflections, transient shadows, and magnetic anomalies hint at secrets still buried beneath the regolith. Each clue, however uncertain, fuels the imagination of those who believe the moon is not simply a barren rock, but a silent archive of cosmic history. If alien artifacts exist in the solar system, the moon stands as the first and most logical suspect, a place we thought we knew but may not truly understand. The unsettling thought is this: we passively accept the moon as part of our nightly sky, yet it may hold within it evidence that would change everything we know about our place in the universe. The next mission, the next rover, the next drill beneath the surface could reveal that we are not the first to stand beneath its pale light. The moon may not just be our companion, it may be the first witness, and perhaps the first messenger, of a story far older and stranger than we have ever imagined. Mars has long been a canvas for human imagination. Its reddish hue inspired ancient cultures to see it as the planet of war, a celestial symbol of conflict and chaos. But beneath the mythology lies a world that may have once been far more Earth-like than we dare to believe. Today it is dry, barren, and hostile, a desert planet scarred by dust storms and frozen deserts. Yet evidence continues to accumulate that Mars was once a very different place, flowing rivers, sprawling lakes, even oceans that may have covered much of its surface. If life existed there, then Mars was not simply a neighbor in our solar system, but a twin of Earth, a twin that lost its way. And if an advanced intelligence ever sought to leave behind an artifact, Mars would have been the perfect testing ground, a world with the capacity to support it and preserve it long after its seas vanished. The surface of Mars tells a story of both wonder and mystery. Vast channels carved by ancient floods, dried riverbeds stretching for thousands of kilometers, and minerals that can only form in liquid water all point to a past where the planet was alive with activity. But what is truly unsettling are the anomalies, structures and shapes that seem to defy ordinary geological explanation. The most famous of these is the face on Mars, photographed by Viking 1 in 1976. Though later images revealed it to be a mesa shaped by shadows, the fascination it sparked never disappeared. It ignited a larger question. What if other formations, less easily dismissed, truly are remnants of something artificial? Some researchers point to regions like Cydonia, where geometric structures appear in close proximity, pyramidal shapes, angular alignments, and patterns that seem too orderly to be random. Mainstream science attributes them to natural erosion and tricks of light. But for those who search for evidence of past civilizations, these features remain compelling. Could Mars have hosted a culture that rose and fell long before humans ever looked to the sky? Could these be ruins buried beneath sand and time, awaiting rediscovery by our rovers and orbiters? Recent discoveries only deepen the mystery. Mars rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance have photographed rocks with startlingly precise shapes, perfect spheres, strange carvings, even fragments that resemble technology. While most of these can be explained as natural formations, the repetition of such anomalies across multiple sites invites speculation. At what point does coincidence become too frequent? If Mars was once a cradle of life, perhaps these are not random shapes, but degraded remains of something once purposeful. Adding to this is the enigma of methane. Periodic spikes of methane gas have been detected in Mars's atmosphere, a chemical signature that on Earth is closely tied to biological activity. Scientists debate whether it arises from geological processes or something more. But if life once thrived on Mars, its remnants could lie hidden beneath the surface, preserved in caves, lava tubes, or under the ice caps. And if life reached complexity, even briefly, might it have left behind markers of its presence, tools, artifacts, or structures now buried under billions of years of dust? The idea that Mars was once inhabited by intelligent beings is not new. In the late 19th century, astronomer Percival Lowell popularized the notion of Martian canals, claiming to see vast networks of engineered waterways. His vision of a dying civilization fighting for survival captured public imagination, inspiring generations of science fiction. Though disproven, the myth lingers, evolving with every new discovery that suggests Mars may not be as barren as it seems. Perhaps Lowell's vision was not entirely wrong. Perhaps the planet really did host life, just not in the way he imagined. From a strategic perspective, Mars would be the ideal place for alien observers to leave an artifact. Unlike Earth, its surface has been geologically quiet for long periods, and erosion is minimal compared to our planet. An object buried beneath Martian soil could survive for eons, waiting for us to reach it. Perhaps the very reason humanity is so drawn to Mars, our relentless drive to explore it, is part of the experiment. The planet tempts us with evidence, with mysteries that push us forward, daring us to uncover the truth. What makes Mars even more haunting is the possibility that its fate is a mirror of our own. A once thriving world stripped of its atmosphere, its oceans lost to space, its surface left barren and cold. Is this a warning encoded in its history? Or was it part of a larger cosmic test, one in which civilizations rise and fall, leaving only faint echoes for others to find? Mars may not only hold answers about life elsewhere, but about the destiny of life here on Earth. The red planet stands as both an enigma and a reminder. Its silent deserts may conceal artifacts older than human history, relics of civilizations we cannot yet imagine. Or perhaps it is empty, and the real artifact is the lesson it offers, a vision of how fragile worlds can be. In either case, Mars forces us to confront the possibility that the solar system is not merely a collection of rocks and gas, but a stage where stories older than humanity itself are still waiting to be read. Between Mars and Jupiter lies a vast field of debris, a band of countless rocks and fragments orbiting the sun like a cosmic scar. We call it the asteroid belt, and for centuries it has been treated as little more than a graveyard of failed planet formation. But what if it is something more? What if the asteroid belt is not simply the remains of a world that never was, but the wreckage of a world that once existed? And if so, what secrets might be hidden within those shattered fragments? Secrets that could redefine everything we think we know about the solar system and its history? The standard explanation is straightforward. During the early formation of the solar system, Jupiter's immense gravity disrupted the process of accretion, preventing a planet from forming in that region. Instead, the material broke apart and stabilized into the belt we see today. Yet, there are anomalies that challenge this tidy narrative. The total mass of the belt is far less than expected, only about 4% of the Moon's mass, suggesting that much of its material is missing. This raises an unsettling possibility. Perhaps the belt is not simply the leftovers of a failed planet, but the shattered remains of one that once existed and was torn apart. This hypothesis is known as the exploded planet hypothesis, and though controversial, it persists in scientific and speculative circles alike. If there was once a planet in the belt's orbit, what destroyed it? Could it have been the result of internal instability, catastrophic impacts, or even something more deliberate? The idea that an ancient world was obliterated carries chilling implications, not just for planetary science, but for the possibility that intelligent life might once have thrived there, leaving behind only ruins now scattered as silent stones drifting through space. Among the asteroids, there are peculiarities that fuel speculation. Ceres, the largest object in the belt, is nearly spherical and possesses signs of subsurface water and possible cryovolcanism. Vesta, another massive body, shows evidence of volcanic activity in its past. These are not inert rocks, but remnants of differentiated worlds, fragments that may have once belonged to a planet with geological complexity, oceans, and perhaps even the potential for life. If this planet existed, then the belt is not a graveyard, but an archive of its destruction. Some theorists even suggest that the destruction of this hypothetical planet could explain ancient myths. Many cultures speak of a time when the heavens were disturbed, when a great world was shattered and chaos reigned. Could these myths be fragmented memories of an event witnessed by early humans, or by earlier civilizations that recorded their visions of the cosmos? The Greek tale of Phaethon, who lost control of the sun's chariot and scorched the earth, has often been linked to cosmic catastrophes. Intriguingly, Phaethon is also the name given to a peculiar asteroid that appears more like a burned-out comet, further blurring the line between myth and science. Even modern researchers are beginning to see the belt not as an inert collection of rocks, but as a region full of potential clues. The Dawn mission revealed bright spots on Ceres, reflections of salt deposits that suggest liquid water may once have flowed beneath its surface. Water is the essential ingredient for life, and the presence of it on bodies in the belt hints that the region may have been far more dynamic than we thought. If alien artifacts were ever hidden in the solar system, the asteroid belt would be an ideal location. Countless objects to mask their presence, low geological activity to preserve them, and relative stability to ensure they endure for eons. There is also the haunting possibility that the belt itself was engineered. To us, it looks chaotic, but to a sufficiently advanced intelligence, it could serve as a boundary, a barrier, or even a warning. Could the asteroid belt be more than debris? Could it be the remains of a failed experiment, left intentionally visible as a lesson to others who rise to power? In that interpretation, the belt is less a scientific puzzle and more a message. Progress comes with the risk of collapse, and the ruins of worlds are there to remind us. What makes this question so captivating is that the truth is still beyond our reach. We have sent probes to a handful of asteroids, and yet we have barely scratched the surface of this colossal region. Every fragment in the belt is a page of a book we have not yet learned to read. Perhaps among those fragments lies something that does not belong, an object, a structure, or even a piece of technology preserved in the cold of space. If such a discovery were made, it would not only confirm the existence of an ancient world, but potentially reveal the hand of intelligence far older than our own. The asteroid belt is a cosmic enigma, a wound in the solar system that refuses to heal. Whether it is the remains of a destroyed planet, the result of chaotic formation, or something else entirely, it reminds us that the history of our cosmic neighborhood is far more violent and mysterious than we often imagine. And as we continue to explore it, the possibility lingers that its rubble may not only hold the story of a lost world, but the keys to understanding our place in a universe filled with forgotten experiments. Beyond the familiar planets lies a frontier that remains largely invisible to us. Past Neptune stretches a vast region filled with icy worlds, comets, and bodies so distant that sunlight is only a faint whisper. We call it the Kuiper Belt, and beyond it, the even more mysterious Oort Cloud. These regions form the frozen edges of our solar system, a place where time itself seems suspended. For scientists, these outer zones are a treasure trove of untouched material from the birth of the solar system. But for those who dare to speculate, they may also serve another purpose: the perfect storage grounds for alien relics, hidden away where no civilization as young and fragile as ours would think to look. The logic is simple, yet profound. If an advanced intelligence sought to leave behind messages, technology, or monuments within a planetary system, they would need a location stable enough to preserve them for eons. The inner solar system is far too dynamic. Planets shift, atmospheres erode, impacts scar surfaces, and tectonics reshape the ground. But the outer solar system, silent, cold, and largely inert, offers stability on timescales of billions of years. Objects parked there could remain undisturbed far longer than anything placed on Earth or Mars. In this sense, the Kuiper Belt and the Oort Cloud could function as cosmic vaults. Already, the outer solar system has presented puzzles that defy simple explanations. The discovery of Sedna, a distant dwarf planet with a highly elongated orbit, suggests gravitational influences we do not yet fully understand. Some astronomers propose the existence of a hidden Planet 9, a massive world shepherding these distant objects into strange trajectories. But others speculate more boldly. Could these orbital anomalies hint not at a planet, but at massive artificial constructs, remnants of ancient engineering placed to subtly influence the solar system? It is a provocative idea, one that reframes these remote regions as active laboratories of mystery rather than barren voids. The Oort Cloud, a hypothetical sphere of icy bodies extending perhaps a light year from the sun, is even more intriguing. If it exists as theorized, it represents the largest structure in our solar system, a vast shell encasing all the planets. What better location for hiding something meant to endure unnoticed? Any probe, archive, or monument concealed there would be virtually impossible to detect with current technology. It would remain beyond the reach of our telescopes and spacecraft, waiting silently for a civilization advanced enough, or determined enough to seek it out. Some theorists have taken this further, suggesting that interstellar visitors like the enigmatic Oumuamua may be connected to such hidden reservoirs. When that elongated object swept through our solar system in 2017, its strange acceleration and unusual shape sparked debate. Was it merely a fragment of rock, or something more artificial? If alien civilizations do seed the outskirts of solar systems with probes or artifacts, then objects like Oumuamua could be clues, fragments escaping from these distant storage zones and drifting inward to reveal their existence. The idea of alien archives hidden at the solar system's edge also intersects with human history. Ancient myths often describe gods descending from the heavens or messages delivered from distant stars. While speculative, it is worth asking, if such messages were ever left, where would they survive? Not in the fragile ruins of Earth's surface, but in the cold and silence of the outer solar system, preserved against the ravages of time. Our ancestors may have sensed mysteries they could not articulate, while today we have the tools to finally begin searching. Even NASA and other space agencies are beginning to consider missions that stretch beyond Pluto into the Kuiper Belt. These missions are designed to study primordial bodies, but in doing so, they may also stumble across anomalies, objects that defy natural explanation, features too precise, too geometric, too deliberate to be chance. The thought that we might find a probe, a monument, or even a message waiting for us in the frozen dark is both unsettling and exhilarating. It would suggest that our solar system has been visited before, and that we are not the first to wonder about our place in the cosmos. The outer solar system is not just a boundary, it is a threshold. A place where the known gives way to the unknown, where the solar system blurs into the interstellar void. If alien civilizations have ever reached us, it is reasonable to think they would use this boundary as both a hiding place and a stage. A hiding place because its stability ensures endurance. A stage because it sits at the edge of discovery, tempting each new civilization to venture further. The question is not whether something is out there, but whether we are ready to see it when we finally arrive. As we push outward into the Kuiper Belt and dream of exploring the Oort Cloud, we are not merely chasing comets and icy rocks. We are probing the vaults of time itself, places where secrets could rest undisturbed for billions of years. And in those vaults, perhaps, lie artifacts that would not only confirm we are not alone, but also show us that our solar system has been part of a cosmic dialogue all along. Among the wonders of the solar system, few sights are as iconic as Saturn's rings. Vast, shimmering bands of ice and dust stretch tens of thousands of kilometers into space, creating a spectacle so perfect that it almost looks designed. For centuries, astronomers have debated their origins and age, but recent research has made the mystery even deeper. The rings may be far younger than the planet itself, perhaps only 100 million years old, a blink in cosmic time. If that is the case, then their sudden appearance raises an unsettling question. Why now? And is it possible that they serve a purpose beyond the natural? Could Saturn's rings be more than just debris? Could they be a kind of cosmic marker, or even a megastructure crafted by intelligence? The composition of the rings adds to their enigma. They are made almost entirely of water ice, far purer than what one would expect from random cosmic debris. In fact, their brightness suggests they have not been darkened by interstellar dust over billions of years. If they were ancient, they should appear darker, contaminated, aged. Instead, they gleam with unusual clarity, as though freshly formed, or perhaps maintained. This has led some to speculate that the rings might not be a mere accident of physics, but a sign of processes we do not yet understand. Some theories even propose they were engineered, serving as a visible beacon to civilizations able to look skyward and wonder. What function could such a structure serve? One possibility is symbolic. In a universe where civilizations may emerge and vanish across eons, creating a marker that endures for millions of years could be a way of saying, "We were here." A planetary-scale signature visible from vast distances could act as a cosmic monument, a statement carved into the fabric of the heavens. Saturn's rings, with their elegance and visibility, would be the perfect canvas for such a message. Another possibility is practical, that the rings may act as a form of energy harvesting, resource collection, or even a massive archive of data encoded in patterns we have yet to decipher. Even in the realm of natural explanations, the rings challenge us. Some models suggest they may be the remnants of a moon torn apart by Saturn's gravity, its icy mantle shattered into countless fragments that now orbit the planet. If so, we must ask why such an event occurred so recently in cosmic terms. Others suggest comets or passing bodies contributed to their formation, yet none of these theories fully explains their purity, brightness, or timing. When gaps remain in natural explanations, imagination fills the void. And in those gaps, the possibility of intelligence lingers. Saturn itself has long been a planet of fascination, not only in modern science, but in ancient myth. To the Romans, Saturn was the god of time and cycles. To the Babylonians and Greeks, he represented order and boundary. Could it be coincidence that the most mysterious and visually striking rings in the solar system encircle the very planet humanity once associated with endings and beginnings? Or could ancient observers, gazing at Saturn through primitive instruments or even with the naked eye, have sensed there was more to this world than its serene beauty? Some researchers have gone further, connecting the study of Saturn's rings to the concept of extraterrestrial megastructures. In recent years, astronomers observing distant stars have speculated about possible alien engineering when encountering unexplained dimming patterns, as in the case of Tabby's star. If we are willing to consider megastructures around distant suns, why not also around our own planets? Saturn's rings, while dazzlingly natural in appearance, could mask something we have not yet learned to recognize. There is also the strange phenomenon of spokes within the rings, radial features that appear and disappear unpredictably, like shadows sweeping across the bands. They defy simple gravitational modeling and remain poorly understood. Could they be the byproduct of electromagnetic forces, or something more deliberate? If information were ever encoded into the rings, subtle variations like these might be where to look. The thought that the rings could serve as a message board of sorts, a vast repository of data written in patterns of ice and dust, is speculative but deeply alluring. Exploring Saturn's rings in detail is one of the challenges of future space missions. The Cassini spacecraft gave us glimpses of their complexity, but it also raised more questions than it answered. Among its findings was evidence that the rings are losing material and may eventually disappear. If they are temporary, then perhaps their role, whether natural or artificial, is also temporary, a fleeting phenomenon that exists to be noticed by civilizations like ours in this exact moment of time. The timing is uncanny. After billions of years of silence, why should such a structure appear now, when we are just beginning to look outward with curiosity? Saturn's rings may well be the most beautiful accident in the solar system, the aftermath of destruction frozen into symmetry. Or they may be something else entirely, a deliberate construction, a marker placed where no intelligent species could miss it, a riddle written in ice and shadow. Either way, they serve their purpose. They remind us that not everything we see is fully understood, that the universe still holds secrets visible to the naked eye, yet concealed from the mind. The rings, fragile yet vast, may be both a monument and a mystery. The only question is whether we dare to treat them as both. Mars has always occupied a unique place in our imagination. Red, barren, and mysterious, it has been both a mirror and a canvas for humanity's deepest questions about life beyond Earth. Telescopes in the 19th century revealed faint lines on its surface that some mistook for canals, fueling speculation that an advanced civilization once thrived there. While modern science attributes those illusions to optical errors, the fascination remains. Mars is not just a planet, it is a riddle, and some of its features continue to feed the idea that it might bear traces of ancient alien activity. Could Mars, scarred by time and catastrophe, hide the remnants of installations left by beings who came long before us? The most famous case is the so-called Face on Mars, a massive mesa in the Cydonia region photographed by NASA's Viking 1 orbiter in 1976. At first glance, the shadows gave it an uncanny resemblance to a human face, sparking theories that it was an artificial monument. Later missions, including the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, captured higher-resolution images showing a natural landform shaped by erosion. And yet, the mystery lingers, not because the mesa is artificial, but because of what the reaction revealed. humanity is primed to see meaning in Mars, to suspect that its desolate plains conceal messages or structures we have yet to decode. Beyond the face, Cydonia itself is full of geological oddities, pyramidal shapes, angular ridges, and patterns that suggest intentionality to the human eye. Most scientists classify these as examples of pareidolia, the tendency to perceive order and randomness. But others argue that such features deserve closer study, pointing out that even if they are natural, they could have been chosen as markers by visitors who once traversed the planet. Mars, with its thin atmosphere and history of liquid water, would have been a logical place to leave evidence, especially if the intent was for future civilizations to find it. The allure of Mars as a repository for alien installations also stems from its past. Geological data reveal that billions of years ago, Mars was warmer and wetter, with rivers, lakes, and perhaps even oceans. If microbial life had a chance to evolve there, it's conceivable that intelligence, whether local or visiting, might have taken advantage of its relatively hospitable conditions. Structures built in that epoch could still remain, buried under sand or preserved beneath ice caps, waiting for discovery. Unlike Earth, with its shifting tectonics and relentless weather, Mars preserves its history for ages. That preservation could make it an archive, natural or otherwise. Another tantalizing clue comes from reports of strange magnetic anomalies detected by orbiters. Unlike Earth, Mars no longer has a global magnetic field, but in some regions localized fields remain, suggesting the crust itself was altered in unusual ways. Could this be evidence of ancient technological activity? While mainstream science attributes these anomalies to geological processes, the possibility that artificial manipulation played a role continues to inspire speculation. Similarly, unusual alignments of rocks, formations, or craters fuel theories that Mars might host more than simple geology, that it might be a planetary canvas with intentional signatures. Mars is also where we found some of the most compelling hints of life. Methane plumes detected in its atmosphere appear and disappear in cycles, raising questions about whether they result from geological processes or biological activity. Some researchers argue that if microbial life exists or existed, it might point to Mars as a stepping stone for panspermia, the theory that life spreads across planets via comets, asteroids, or even purposeful seeding. If so, Mars could be both laboratory and archive, a world where life was tested, preserved, and perhaps influenced by external intervention. The presence of strange boulders and unusual rock formations adds fuel to these ideas. NASA rovers have photographed objects resembling metal debris, spherical stones scattered across plains, and geometric patterns etched into Martian cliffs. While most have natural explanations, each discovery reignites debate. What if we are overlooking subtle signs of design, mistaking the extraordinary for the ordinary because we expect Mars to be lifeless? In science, expectations shape interpretation. And on Mars, expectations may be blinding us to possibilities. What makes Mars especially compelling as a candidate for alien installations is not just its features, but its accessibility. Unlike the outer planets or distant moons, Mars is within reach. Our rovers crawl across its deserts. Orbiters map its every contour. Within decades, humans may set foot there. If the solar system does hide alien relics, Mars is where we are most likely to find them. Perhaps not in grand monuments, but in small anomalies, unusual isotopes, artifacts buried beneath regolith, or patterns in the landscape that reveal a hidden order. Ultimately, Mars represents a paradox. It is the most studied planet after Earth, and yet it remains one of the most mysterious. Each new mission answers questions while opening others. Was it once alive? Did it host civilizations, native or foreign? Or is it a stage set to provoke our curiosity, a world designed by the cosmos itself to invite speculation? Whether natural or artificial, Mars functions as a mirror for our longing to not be alone. If the red planet holds installations, they may not only change our understanding of extraterrestrial life, but also redefine what it means to search for truth among the stars. In October 2017, astronomers observed something that shook the foundations of how we understand our place in the cosmos. A strange object, elongated and tumbling through space, entered our solar system from interstellar space, the first confirmed visitor from another star ever detected. They named it Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning scout or messenger. And from the moment it was discovered, it defied every expectation. Unlike a comet, it displayed no visible tail. Unlike an asteroid, it was unusually bright and oddly shaped, more like a needle or a shard than a rock. And strangest of all, it seemed to accelerate slightly as it left the solar system, as if propelled by a force we could not see. Mainstream science attempted to explain these anomalies with natural hypotheses. Perhaps it was a fragment of a larger body, ejected during the violent birth of another solar system. Perhaps its acceleration was caused by outgassing, jets of gas escaping from its surface, too faint for us to detect. But the absence of visible debris or water vapor challenged this explanation. Its elongated form, estimated to be at least 10 times longer than it was wide, also set it apart from anything we had ever observed drifting through space. To some, the simplest explanation was not natural chaos, but design. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb famously argued that Oumuamua might be an artificial object, perhaps a fragment of alien technology, a probe, or even a type of light sail propelled by radiation. His claims sparked controversy, dividing the scientific community. Critics accused him of speculation, but his argument touched a nerve. For decades, humanity has imagined encountering alien artifacts, and now, before our eyes, was an object that fit no conventional category. Was it coincidence that the first interstellar visitor we observed seemed to behave like something extraordinary? Or was this the moment the universe revealed a hidden truth? The implications are staggering. If Oumuamua was artificial, then we are not the first intelligence to send objects between the stars. That would mean civilizations, at some point in cosmic history, mastered interstellar travel, or at least interstellar communication through technology. Our solar system, in this view, may not be an untouched wilderness, but a place where travelers leave traces, messages, or probes. Oumuamua could have been one of many scouts drifting silently between stars, gathering data, or waiting for civilizations like ours to notice. Even if natural, the timing of its arrival is uncanny. Humanity is only now developing the tools to detect interstellar objects, and immediately we found one that challenges our assumptions. How many more have passed unnoticed? Could the solar system be crisscrossed by fragments from other worlds, some of them artificial, some natural, all waiting to be found? Oumuamua might be the tip of an iceberg, a glimpse into a hidden traffic of objects between stars that we are just beginning to detect. Its behavior also raises haunting questions. The slight, unexplained acceleration suggests it interacted with solar radiation in ways we don't fully understand. If it were a light sail, a thin, reflective structure designed to harness starlight for propulsion, then it may not have been drifting aimlessly at all. It could have been navigating, however subtly, through our solar system. If so, was it passing through on a mission, or had it been abandoned long ago, a derelict fragment of a civilization that no longer exists? The very fact that we debate these questions shows the power of Oumuamua's mystery. It has forced scientists and dreamers alike to reconsider what evidence for alien life might look like. Not grand ships descending from the sky, but small, ambiguous anomalies. Objects that leave just enough evidence to disturb, but not enough to confirm. This ambiguity may itself be the message. If civilizations plant scouts across the galaxy, they may not want to announce themselves directly, but rather provoke thought in those who find them. Oumuamua is gone now, racing beyond the reach of our instruments, leaving behind only data and speculation. But it has already inspired new efforts to study interstellar visitors. Telescopes are being built to scan the skies for similar objects, and missions are being proposed to intercept them. The next time such a traveler enters our solar system, we may be ready to follow it, to examine it up close, to ask the questions Oumuamua left unanswered. Whether a natural fragment or an artificial messenger, Oumuamua changed the conversation. It showed us that the universe is not sealed off, that other systems send us visitors, that our solar system is not isolated but part of a greater network of cosmic exchange. And in doing so, it reminded us that the answers to the greatest mysteries may not lie in distant galaxies, but in the strange and fleeting objects that pass quietly through our own cosmic backyard. The moon has always been more than a celestial body. It has been a mirror for myths, a guide for calendars, and the silent witness to humanity's first steps beyond Earth. Yet beneath its desolate surface and ancient craters, there lingers a persistent question. Is the moon truly a barren satellite, or could it conceal traces of something more, perhaps even artifacts left behind by civilizations not of this Earth? The search for lunar anomalies is not merely science fiction. It has been a subject of speculation, investigation, and controversy for decades. When the Apollo astronauts returned with their samples and photographs, scientists confirmed what they expected. The moon is old, geologically inactive, and scarred by billions of years of impacts. But along with the rocks came mysteries. Seismic instruments placed on the surface revealed that the moon rings like a bell when struck by meteors or discarded spacecraft stages, leading to speculation about its unusual internal structure. Could it be hollow or partially engineered? Mainstream science leans toward natural explanations, but the unusual seismic data fueled theories that the moon may not be entirely what it seems. Adding to the mystery are the so-called lunar anomalies, structures or shapes that appear artificial in photographs. Some claim to see towers, domes, or geometric patterns on the lunar surface, often dismissed by experts as optical illusions, image artifacts, or natural formations. Yet the persistence of these claims points to something deeper. The human sense that the moon, so close and so enigmatic, might hold secrets just beyond the limits of official confirmation. Even respected scientists have entertained the idea of searching the moon for alien artifacts. The reasoning is simple. If an advanced civilization ever wanted to leave behind a message or a monitoring device, the moon would be the ideal location. Unlike Earth, its surface does not erode quickly. No atmosphere, no plate tectonics, no weather to erase evidence. An artifact placed there millions or even billions of years ago could remain intact today, buried under dust, waiting to be uncovered. The moon is, in many ways, a natural archive of the solar system, preserving what Earth cannot. In recent years, high-resolution imagery from lunar orbiters has reignited interest in the subject. Vast lava tubes beneath the moon's surface could hide enormous caverns, stable and shielded from radiation. These structures could serve as perfect locations to conceal, or perhaps to discover, ancient artifacts. To some, the very existence of these subterranean voids suggests possibilities we have barely begun to consider. Were they ever visited, explored, or even used as shelters long before humans arrived? The idea is not entirely dismissed by science. In 2011, researchers suggested a systematic search of the moon and other nearby bodies for evidence of extraterrestrial technology. They argued that instead of looking only at distant stars for signals, we should examine the most accessible places, our own solar system. In this context, the moon becomes the closest and most logical candidate for investigation. If alien probes or structures exist anywhere nearby, the lunar surface could be their silent resting place. The implications of such a discovery would be profound. Finding even a fragment of non-human technology on the moon would prove, beyond doubt, that we are not alone. It would transform not only astronomy, but every aspect of human thought, our history, our religions, our sciences. It would confirm that intelligence has passed this way before, leaving behind a trace, perhaps for us to find when we were ready. But it would also raise unsettling questions. Were these artifacts left as a message, a warning, or merely as debris of a civilization indifferent to our existence? Skeptics argue, of course, that no credible evidence has yet been found. They caution against seeing patterns where none exist, against letting imagination replace data. But imagination itself has always been a driver of exploration. The Apollo missions were once a dream, fueled by visions of reaching a world that had captivated humans for millennia. Today, as space agencies and private companies plan to return to the moon, the possibility of uncovering hidden anomalies is once again alive. Each landing, each rover, each drill that penetrates deeper into the regolith carries the potential for surprise. If the moon does hold artifacts, they may not be obvious or monumental. They might be subtle, small devices buried under dust, designed to last and remain unnoticed until technology advanced enough to reveal them. And if they exist, then our nearest celestial neighbor may not simply be a natural satellite, but the first place where humanity uncovers evidence that we are part of a larger story, an experiment, or a network of civilizations extending beyond the Earth. The search continues. For now, the moon remains a silent enigma, its surface scattered with human footprints and machines, but its deeper layers unexplored, its mysteries unresolved. And as we prepare to return, the question persists. Will we find only rocks and craters, or will we uncover something that changes everything we thought we knew about our place in the cosmos? Mars has long been the canvas of human imagination. From ancient astronomers who traced its reddish glow across the sky to modern scientists sending rovers to its surface, the planet has always carried with it an air of mystery and possibility. For centuries, humanity has wondered whether Mars once hosted life, but a deeper, more provocative question lingers beneath the surface of speculation. Could Mars be more than a dead planet? Could it be an archive, holding the remnants of civilizations lost to time, preserved in silence beneath its dust and stone? The evidence for Mars as a once-living world is compelling. Vast canyons like Valles Marineris suggest tectonic and erosional forces once reshaped its crust. Ancient riverbeds, dry deltas, and mineral deposits point to a time when liquid water flowed abundantly across its surface. Billions of years ago, Mars may have been warmer, wetter, and potentially hospitable. In such an environment, microbial life, or even more complex ecosystems could have flourished. If so, what became of them? Were they extinguished by the planet's thinning atmosphere and relentless cold? Or is it possible that traces remain, fossilized beneath the sand, waiting to be uncovered? Some scientists believe Mars may preserve a record of its biological history far better than Earth. On our own planet, plate tectonics and erosion erase most traces of deep time, recycling the crust and burying evidence of ancient epochs. Mars, by contrast, has been geologically inactive for much of its history. What lies buried there could be remarkably well preserved, snapshots of an era when the planet may have been alive. If microbial fossils exist, they might still be waiting in ancient lakebeds or trapped in layers of ice beneath the polar caps. But speculation does not stop at microbes.
The fascination with Mars has always been fueled by a sense that the planet might have once hosted something greater. A civilization, perhaps primitive, perhaps advanced, erased by catastrophe or by time. In the late 19th century, astronomer Percival Lowell popularized the idea of canals on Mars, mistaking optical illusions for engineered waterways. Though debunked, the idea resonated deeply, suggesting that Mars might be home to intelligent beings struggling to survive on a dying world.
Later, high-resolution images revealed the so-called face on Mars in the Cydonia region, a mesa that appeared strikingly human-like in early photographs. Later missions showed it to be a natural formation, yet the intrigue persists. To many, these anomalies are not accidents, but clues, perhaps distorted remnants of structures too old and eroded to be recognized clearly. Even if Mars never hosted its own civilization, another possibility exists. It may hold artifacts from elsewhere. If the solar system has been visited in the past, Mars, with its thin atmosphere, lack of tectonics, and relative stability, would be an ideal storage site. Artifacts left there could survive for millions of years, untouched by weather or seismic activity. Some researchers have even suggested that Mars could harbor evidence of panspermia, the theory that life may have originated elsewhere and traveled through space, seeding worlds like Earth and Mars with the building blocks of biology. In this sense, Mars could be both archive and ancestor, holding the genetic fingerprints of life itself. Modern exploration has only deepened the mystery. Rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance have uncovered organic molecules, strange methane fluctuations in the atmosphere, and rocks shaped in ways that resemble stromatolites, structures built by microbial communities on Earth. Each discovery stops short of confirmation, but each adds another layer of intrigue. NASA and other space agencies tread carefully, avoiding conclusions, but the hints are undeniable. Something about Mars refuses to be explained away entirely. If evidence of past life or even past civilizations were to be found, the implications would be staggering. Mars would cease to be a barren neighbor and become a mirror, reflecting not only what is possible for planets, but what is possible for civilizations. Its history might reveal whether life inevitably collapses under planetary stress, or whether intelligence rises only to be erased by forces greater than itself. In that sense, Mars could be both warning and teacher. For now, we stand on the edge of revelation. Samples are being collected for return to Earth. Future missions aim to drill deeper, to probe ice, to search caves and lava tubes where life might once have hidden. Each step brings us closer to the truth. Yet the greatest discoveries may not be microbial fossils or chemical traces. They may be ruins, forgotten markers of a time when Mars was more than dust, when it was a home. Until that truth is uncovered, Mars remains a paradox, a planet both familiar and alien, barren yet suggestive of abundance, silent yet filled with whispers of forgotten epochs. Whether it holds fossils, artifacts, or only the echoes of lost oceans, one thing is certain. Mars is not just a world. It is a memory carved into the solar system itself, waiting for us to listen. We began this journey by asking a simple but disquieting question. Could our solar system be hiding alien artifacts? What at first seemed like a speculation, a thought experiment hovering between science and imagination, has unfolded into a panorama of mysteries that bind together the history of our planets, the silences of our moons, and the uncharted spaces that stretch beyond the reach of our telescopes. And now, at the end of this exploration, one truth emerges with clarity. Whether or not artifacts exist, the very act of searching reshapes who we are. From the dark expanses of the Oort Cloud to the frozen depths of Europa, we have followed the threads of unanswered questions, each one a possibility, each one a doorway into the unknown. We have considered that the architecture of the sky itself may hide intelligences that passed here long before us, leaving behind subtle patterns, signals, or even relics buried in stone and ice. We have traced whispers of Mars as a possible archive, a planet that may hold either the memory of its own vanished ecosystems or evidence of visitors who chose it as a silent vault for secrets too vast for us to yet comprehend. What unites these stories is not certainty, but wonder. Every unexplained phenomenon, every anomaly observed and dismissed, every signal that fades into static, invites us to confront the uncomfortable fact that we do not know. We do not know how alone we are. We do not know how many civilizations have risen and fallen before us. We do not know whether our history is singular or merely one among countless echoes in the great continuum of cosmic time. And it is in that uncertainty that we discover our greatest strength, the ability to question, to wonder, to seek beyond the boundaries of what is given. Perhaps the artifacts we search for are not monoliths or machines, but reminders embedded in the universe itself. The strange alignments of ancient structures on Earth, the enduring myths of lost worlds, the quiet persistence of questions that return generation after generation. All of them point toward a deeper pattern. It is as though the universe itself is calling us to look closer, to dig deeper, to listen to what lies beneath silence. Whether the source of that call is natural or artificial may matter less than the fact that we hear it and that we cannot turn away. And yet, there is a warning woven into this search. Civilizations that leave artifacts are civilizations that may no longer exist. The relics we dream of finding may not be signs of companionship, but evidence of endings. They could reveal not only what others achieved, but also what they could not survive. If we are indeed part of a larger experiment, one in which resilience, cooperation, and wisdom are tested across worlds, then our task is not merely to search for artifacts, but to ensure that we do not one day become one ourselves, reduced to ruins, studied by future explorers who wonder why we failed. Still, hope shines brighter than fear. Each discovery, each mystery that remains unresolved, is an invitation to continue the journey. We may never know for certain what lies hidden in the shadows of our solar system, but by searching, by asking, by daring to imagine that we are part of a larger narrative, we become participants in something greater than ourselves. We extend the experiment of life, consciousness, and meaning into the cosmic theater, leaving our own mark for others to find. And now, as we close this chapter, the invitation is yours. Not to simply watch and move on, but to step into the current of this exploration. Subscribe if you have not yet, not as a ritual of numbers, but as a choice to continue walking into mystery with those who refuse to stop asking questions. Share this journey with those who hunger for more than certainty, with those who feel that history and science are not endings, but beginnings. Leave your voice here, your thoughts, your questions, so that this space becomes not just a channel, but a living archive of minds willing to wonder. Because perhaps the most important artifact we can leave behind is not stone, not metal, not signals broadcast into the void, but our choice to keep searching, to keep reaching, to keep daring to imagine. If the solar system hides its secrets well, then let us be the generation that refuses to look away. The mystery will not wait forever, and neither should we.